Robin Williams and Billy Crystal gave the world some of the biggest laughs in entertainment history. Together, they could turn any moment into comedy. But the memory Billy Crystal carried for years had nothing to do with making people laugh. It was something deeply personal. Something he kept hidden out of respect for his closest friend. And when he finally shared it, it revealed a side of Robin Williams that very few people ever saw. But what was so powerful that Billy stayed silent for so long? To the public, they were comedy legends. On stage, they seemed fearless. Quick. Effortless. But behind the cameras, they shared something much deeper than a professional friendship. They understood the strange weight of fame in a way very few people could. That understanding slowly turned into trust, and that trust became a brotherhood that lasted for decades. Yet one private tradition between them stayed completely unknown for years. Why did Robin always reach for Billy in the middle of the night? Many nights, around 2 in the morning, Billy's phone would suddenly ring. The moment he answered, Robin was already performing. Billy never knew who would greet him. It could be a famous movie star, a president, or a completely made-up character Robin had invented seconds earlier. Those late-night calls became Robin's private stage, where he could test ideas without judgment. Living in San Francisco while Billy was in New York meant the timing wasn't exactly convenient. More than once, Robin interrupted Billy's sleep. If Billy missed the call, Robin filled his answering machine with hilarious voice messages waiting to be discovered the next morning. But beneath the laughter, something much deeper was happening. What was Robin really searching for? Robin's mind never seemed to slow down. The endless stream of characters and voices helped release the pressure building inside him. Billy became the one person who could simply listen without trying to change him. He gave Robin a safe place where every wild idea was welcome. Billy later admitted it wasn't easy to keep up. It took years to learn how to match Robin's incredible speed. Their conversations felt like a tennis match played with jokes instead of balls, each trying to keep the rhythm alive. But when the laughter settled, the conversations became surprisingly honest. Robin often spoke about loneliness. Growing up as an only child, he had learned to create entire imaginary worlds just to keep himself company. Now, even after becoming one of the most famous entertainers in the world, there were still moments when he needed someone who truly understood him. Billy became that person. The two men made an unbreakable promise. Whatever was said during those private conversations would never leave the room. They shared fears about their careers, their families, and the pressure that came with living under constant public attention. Neither would ever betray the other's trust. But how did a friendship this strong even begin? To understand that, you have to travel back to the late 1970s. California's comedy clubs were exploding with fresh talent. Young performers weren't interested in old-fashioned joke setups anymore. They wanted something raw, unpredictable, and completely alive. Every night was a gamble. Every performance was a chance to change comedy forever. Billy Crystal and Robin Williams were both trying to find their own voices in that wild scene. Then one night, Billy watched Robin perform. And everything changed. Billy realized almost immediately that Robin wasn't just another comedian. He was watching a force of nature. Robin flew across the stage, changing voices, characters, and emotions so quickly that audiences struggled to keep up. There were no obvious rules. No safe routine. Just pure creative energy. Billy knew comedy had entered a new era. Most comedians protected their material fiercely, treating everyone else like competition. But somehow, Billy and Robin were different. Instead of becoming rivals, they became partners. Billy naturally played the calm voice that balanced Robin's chaos. Together, they spent hours experimenting, learning each other's timing, body language, and tiny habits. Eventually, they developed something that almost felt impossible. They could predict where the other person's mind was going before a single word was spoken. That connection would soon become much bigger than comedy. It would help change lives across America. But how could laughter possibly become a tool for something so serious? In 1986, Comic Relief USA was born. Producer Bob Zmuda created the charity event to raise money for people experiencing homelessness. Billy Crystal, Robin Williams, and Whoopi Goldberg became its unforgettable faces. Many television executives doubted the idea. They believed audiences wouldn't want comedy mixed with such a painful subject. They couldn't have been more wrong. The live HBO specials became huge successes because the three friends refused to fake anything. Most of their funniest moments weren't written at all. When technical problems happened or scripts fell apart, Billy, Robin, and Whoopi simply created comedy on the spot. Their quick thinking rescued countless live broadcasts. More importantly, their work helped raise nearly $70 million for housing and healthcare programs. Suddenly, comedy wasn't just entertainment. It was making a real difference. But what happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Billy remembered Robin quietly disappearing during breaks. There were no photographers. No reporters. No publicity team. Robin would visit shelters or military hospitals simply to spend time with people who felt forgotten. He never wanted those moments turned into headlines. Helping people mattered far more than being seen helping them. Still, witnessing so much pain came with its own emotional cost. Those experiences strengthened the bond between Billy and Robin even further. They stopped thinking of themselves as two comedians climbing Hollywood's ladder. They became brothers carrying a shared responsibility. They realized fame could be used for something meaningful. But while that friendship worked perfectly in real life, bringing it onto a movie set created a completely different kind of chaos. And nobody could have predicted what happened next. In 1997, they finally appeared together in the comedy Father's Day. Studio executives expected a normal production where everyone followed the script. Director Ivan Reitman quickly realized that wasn't going to happen. He placed multiple cameras around the set because he knew something special would unfold the moment filming started. As soon as someone yelled, "Action," the script almost disappeared. Robin and Billy constantly invented new lines, trying to surprise each other before the cameras stopped rolling. Between takes, crew members abandoned their work just to watch the two legends compete. The laughter wasn't staged. It was completely real. Even years later, Billy shared a behind-the-scenes photograph showing both men doubled over laughing together. It perfectly captured a friendship that existed long before the cameras turned on. But one of their greatest unscripted moments happened somewhere nobody expected. In 1989, Comic Relief Day brought Billy, Robin, and Whoopi Goldberg to Shea Stadium. Instead of quietly watching the baseball game, they joined legendary broadcaster Tim McCarver inside the commentary booth. Robin admitted he barely understood baseball. When someone asked his favorite team, he jokingly answered, "The San Franciscos." Billy immediately saw an opportunity. He introduced Robin as a fictional Russian baseball player. Robin slipped into a thick Soviet accent without missing a beat. He claimed Russia had only one baseball team, the Reds. The joke kept growing until something completely unexpected happened. A foul ball suddenly flew through the open booth window. Everyone ducked. The ball bounced perfectly into Robin's hands. Without hesitating, he held it up and shouted, "I love America. I'm defecting." The booth exploded with laughter. Millions watching at home witnessed comedy that simply couldn't be planned. Moments like that became part of their legend. But behind Robin's endless energy, something frightening had already begun. For years, almost nobody realized Robin was quietly fighting a devastating illness. After his death, doctors discovered he had Lewy body dementia, a disease that had been mistaken for Parkinson's. It slowly damaged his brain, affecting his thinking, movement, emotions, and sense of reality. Anxiety became overwhelming. Confusion appeared without warning. Fear replaced certainty. Robin himself didn't fully understand what was happening. But Billy noticed small changes long before the public ever did. What he witnessed broke his heart. During their final visits together, Billy saw Robin slowing down. The lightning-fast mind that once bounced endlessly between characters struggled to move as freely. Robin casually described himself as feeling a little crispy. It sounded harmless, but Billy sensed something much deeper. In 2013, Robin looked thinner and noticeably weaker. When they said goodbye after one visit, Robin hugged Billy tightly and suddenly began crying. Billy later admitted he had never seen his fearless friend so frightened. Even then, Billy honored the promise they had made years earlier. He never shared Robin's fears with the press. He refused to let private suffering become public gossip. That loyalty remained unbroken until the very end. Then, on August 11, 2014, the heartbreaking news reached the world. Robin Williams had died at the age of 63. The laughter stopped. But the grief was only beginning. Robin's son, Zach Williams, has since spoken about the lasting pain of losing his father. He explained that grief doesn't simply disappear with time. It echoes through the years. His family had to mourn privately while millions of fans mourned alongside them. Carrying such a public legacy while healing personally became its own challenge. Billy understood that pain better than almost anyone. And soon, he faced the hardest moment of his career. Just 2 weeks later, Billy stood before millions during the Primetime Emmy Awards to honor his best friend. He wasn't delivering jokes. He wasn't acting. He was saying goodbye. Fighting back tears, Billy described Robin as a star whose light continues traveling across the universe long after the star itself has disappeared. Even though Robin was gone, his laughter would continue reaching people for generations. Then Billy ended with the words, "Robin Williams, what a concept." The room fell completely silent. It wasn't simply a tribute. It was the farewell of one brother to another. Yet that heartbreaking moment also reminded people of happier times, like the 1998 Academy Awards when Billy hosted the ceremony and Robin won his Oscar for Good Will Hunting. Billy rushed across the stage to embrace him, celebrating with pure joy. There was never jealousy between them. Only genuine happiness for each other's success. Years have passed, but Billy still honors Robin quietly. Not through grand publicity or constant interviews, but through memories, respect, and love. Robin Williams changed comedy forever. He made millions laugh. But to Billy Crystal, he was never just a legendary performer. He was family. Their friendship proved that in a world built on competition, trust can still exist. Loyalty can still last a lifetime. And sometimes, the greatest story isn't about the jokes that made everyone laugh. It's about the friendship that survived everything except goodbye.